Good day and welcome to this special podcast of Best of Success. I'm John Wyatt, editor of Walls and Ceilings magazine, reporting on behalf for Roofing Contractor. Today I have two special guests. Judy Geller, she's the vice president of METALCON, as well as PSMJ Resources, Inc. And the show takes place this year in Las Vegas at its massive convention center near the Strip this October 21st through the 23rd. Also joining us is Casey Kinzer. She's the executive vice president at Military Warriors Support Foundation. The foundation is a nonprofit organization that provides housing, transportation, and family support programs to combat wounded veterans, Gold Star spouses, and their families as they transition to civilian life. How are you guys?
Great. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So, Judy, before we get in talking about this, why don't you give us some highlights from this year's METALCON?
Every year we leave METALCON and we think, oh, we had a great show. How are we going to top it this year? Well, I think that we really did. We have so much going on. I mean, this year we have more hands-on training than we've ever had before. We've got programs for architects and designers. We've got lots of training for contractors and installers. We've got 35 free education sessions. We've got more than 250 exhibitors showing all the latest innovations and products on the show floor. And of course, we have the highlight of the year on the show floor, which we're going to be talking about with you, John, which is the barn dominium, which we are going to be building the frame for on the show floor today. So we have a lot going on at METALCON this year.
It absolutely sounds like it, and thanks for bringing that up. So listen, let's just jump into that. How did the idea for the Eagles Landing Veteran Retreat come about, and what inspired METALCON to take on a project of this scale?
Yeah. Well, METALCON has a very long history of supporting veterans, fundraising campaigns and donations to partnerships with organizations like Semper Fi and America's Funds, giving back to veterans organizations and those who've served has always been part of our DNA. So many years ago, our CEO, Frank Stasiowski, and Claire Kilcoyne, my predecessor, built a house on the show floor for homes for our troops. And it's always been on our wish list to do it again. So the idea for Eagles Landings grew out of tradition. And we wanted to do something that would not only raise awareness during the show, but leave a lasting legacy, well beyond it. And we had the very good fortune for Frank to connect with Ken Eakes from the Military Warriors Support Foundation. They had a conversation and shared their vision for a potential retreat space where combat wounded warriors and Gold Star families could heal and reconnect. And voila, I was able to have a fantastic conversation with them. And next thing we knew, we were able to have a conversation with Scottsdale Construction, who stepped up and said, we want to build that frame. And we were off. And here we are about to make it a reality.
Well, people are going to be in for a massive treat there. I've experienced something like that at METALCON probably 20 years back, but it is just something to behold watching something being built on that show floor. Casey, I want to rope you in here. So what role does the Military Warriors Support Foundation play in the initiative, and how does Eagles Landing fit into your, broader mission of supporting combat wounded veterans and Gold Star families?
Yeah, so we're super excited about this collaboration. I mean, it's a great opportunity for us to be able to provide this place of rest for our nation's heroes, and it really does fit well into the scope of our programs. And as you mentioned, our mission is to support combat wounded veterans and Gold Star families, and to provide them with opportunities that maybe they thought were out of reach or not really a realistic expectation for them as they're dealing with injuries. And and the things that they're dealing with as they transition out. And so this is just a wonderful place to be able to provide this retreat, and it goes along with our housing initiatives beautifully. And housing is such an important part, and also just a place to have veterans have the opportunity to get together and have some of that camaraderie again is really healing for them. And so we're just extremely grateful for this opportunity.
Excellent. So the barndominium design by the Barndominium Company blends aesthetics with functionality. What makes this structure uniquely suited as a healing space for veterans? And Judy, I also want you to introduce that website to where people can find more information.
Sure, absolutely. So we have a lot of information about the Barndominium. You can find it at metalcon.com/Barndo, or you can just go to metalcon.com and scroll down and you'll find it there. You can actually read all about it. You can see the partners who are involved, and you can see a button where you can donate materials or funding to support this really important project, and you can follow it along. Let me talk about the design, the aesthetics of this project and the functionality, because it's a really great question. So Stacy Lynn from the Barndominium Company, and she is also known as the Barndominium Lady, which is a very, very good title for her, approached the design with practicality and healing in mind. On a functionality level, the Barndominium offers that durability and flexibility and accessibility that is really required for veterans. The space needs to be ADA compliant, so it features all of the must-haves for anybody who has physical challenges. It's got wide open floor plans, it's single level living, it's got adaptable spaces that makes it comfortable and inclusive. And what really sets it apart is how the design really will promote healing. As Casey mentioned, this space, it's not really meant to be a home per se. It is a retreat. So it's open, it's light filled, it's going to be filled with natural materials. It's a seamless connection to the outside, the area surrounding its final home, which will be Hall, Montana, the landscape. It's going to be near a beautiful trout fishing area. And I think that we should mention is while, when you're on site at METALCON, you're going to see this amazing, steel frame for this Barndominium in Las Vegas. We are going to be moving it to its final build spot in Hall, Montana, which is a place that naturally will encourage reflection, relaxation, connection, renewal. So it's really going to be quite beautiful.
So more on that note, once the show folds and the frame heads up to Montana, what does the timeline look like for site prep, transport, completion, work, all that?
So I'll take the first part of that. Scottsdale Construction, who is manufacturing the frame, is going to be assembling it on site at METALCON, where people will be allowed to walk through it. They are going to see samples of some of the roofing, some of the walls, because talk about takes a village. There are going to be many, many of our METALCON exhibitors who are going to be donating many of the components that are going to be provided for the final building envelope that are going to be provided for the final build in Montana. METALCON is building the envelope for this retreat. We are going to be offering some education. Many of the manufacturers who are going to be providing these materials are going to be talking about the materials they are providing and why they are going to be selected. And then at the end of the show, they are going to be carefully disassembling it, and we are going to be putting it on a really big truck and moving it to Hall, Montana, and into the hands of the Military Warriors Foundation and over to Casey's team.
Yes, and so we will have to put some in storage. The end of year in Montana isn't necessarily ideal building time, and so we will have to wait a little bit till spring, weather permits, to start putting that up. But that will allow some time for additional folks to donate the materials and sign up and be a part of the project. As Judy said, this is going to take a village, and so we are going to be continuing to look for folks to continue to support this effort. And many hands are going to make the load light. And so we want to get all those lined up first. And so then we can go ahead and put it up and get it up and running in the spring.
So Casey, this project clearly carries a lot of heart and passion. So what does Eagles Landing personally mean to you? And what do you hope is the legacy? And what do you want for the veteran community?
Another title that I'm very proud of is that I am the spouse of a combat wounded veteran. And so I understand the struggles that these families are experiencing and what these heroes are struggling with and what they're missing. And this opportunity to be in this just incredibly beautiful area, world-class fishing, just this place of rest is going to be so impactful for these families. And it just really, personally and professionally just means so much to me that so many people are coming together in support of this. And it really is inspiring how many have come together. And I'm sure even more will come as they continue to hear about this project.
Thank you, and so well put. And as we wrap things up, I want to give you both the opportunity to just share more for our listeners who want to get involved, whether they're individuals or companies. What are the most impactful ways they can support the Eagles Landing project right now?
Yeah. So this is a really important project. I mean, I think that we all know, now more than ever, it's so important that we support our troops. They certainly take care of us. And I will tell you that in all the years that I have been producing trade shows, this is certainly one of the most meaningful projects that I have ever taken on. And I really encourage everybody to go to the website, metalcon.com /Barndo, read about the project. And if you can, donate. We're looking for materials and funding support. And every little bit counts. And also, as Casey said, many hands make the work light. If you are in the area, if you're a contractor, if you've got services able to support the build in any way, we could use the help. So, again, metalcon.com /Barndo, help us out in any way you possibly can, and we will really appreciate it.
Yeah. And those contributions are tax deductible. Military Warriors will provide you a receipt for those donations.
Well, as I view this is going to be a work in progress because Judy, as we spoke before we hit the record button, we certainly want to follow up on this. So I want to see this as it develops. Guys, thanks so much for your time. It's been great to speak to you. And really, that's all the time we have for this recording of it. If Walls Could Talk Again, I'd like to thank Judy Geller of METALCON and Casey Kinzer. Casey, I'm sorry, I keep butchering your name there. She's the Executive Vice President at Military Warriors Support Foundation. Thank you both, and good day.
Thank you.
Come to METALCON.